Hi everyone, and welcome to Conservation Kids, the show where you have a question about nature and we find the answer with the help of some of our experts, like Professor Turkey Vulture here. Let's find out what our question is going to be today.
Hi Conservation Kids, my name is Ellie. I am 8 years old. I have a question for you. What is a fossil?
Dinosaur bones that were buried.
It's a dinosaur.
It's a bone that it passed away from, and it's deep. I know that.
Eleanor, great question. You are interested in something that is super old. In fact, it's evidence of a living thing from a long, long time ago. And Mount Nemo, along here with all this exposed sedimentary rock, is a great place to look for fossils. So, here are some, and Professor Turkey Vulture, could I show you a few? Okay, great. Here's some shells. They'd be related to clams. Now these are super, super old. Okay, evidence of coral. And an extinct animal called a trilobite that lived here. And maybe you're thinking, how long ago was this? Well, it's way before the dinosaurs, about 450 million years ago. And the cool thing about all these is in brachiopods. There's still a few that exist today. Okay. The weird thing about them is that these are ocean animals. And here we are at Mount Nemo, Toronto over there, way far from the ocean. And that is proof that there was an ocean here about 450 million years ago. In fact, what I'm standing at the top of now and partway into used to be mud before it turned into all this rock. In fact, the Niagara Escarpment is famous for this. This hard rock at the top and the softer rock at the bottom makes the cliff gradually. The cliff itself is not as old as 450 million years, but this rock is. Now, these animals lived the bottom of this ocean, and they are, you can see evidence of them buried in the rock. Here's a crinoid. Now, crinoid was a super common type of animal that lived here, sort of like a sea anemone, but they're actually related to starfish, and there's still some that exist today deep in the ocean. But they were here, and like the other animals, the ones I showed Professor Turkey Vulture, they would die and then get covered up by the mud that would just sift down in the ocean to the bottom. Okay, they'd get covered up. When you look at a fossil like this crinoid, you're actually seeing something that's made of stone, and over time the minerals will seep in. Sometimes in the case of an animal like a mollusk or clam, can actually fill the inside of that clam, and we call that a cast fossil, which is kind of neat. It makes a cast of the inside. So there's one way the minerals you can get a stone cast from the inside of a shell. You can have an imprint of something like a dinosaur footprint, that's called a trace fossil, or in this case you can have the minerals just seeping in and gradually replacing the tiny or filling the tiny holes inside the body and turning into rock over a long period of time.
There you have it. You wanted to know what a fossil was, and we found out that they're basically casts, imprints, or molds of animals that lived millions, in this case, hundreds of millions of years ago, here. But when this was not quite here, it was at the bottom of an ocean. Pretty cool, huh? And now it's time for a conservation tip. If you're out at Mount Nemo or somewhere else on the escarpment, you can admire fossils that you come across, but don't chip or break them off. Leave them for other people to enjoy as well.